Yeah. That's awesome, bro, because I mean there's a lot of people out there that don't have that support from their partners, and it's, especially when they're doing what you're doing and it's like long hours. They're trying to grind.
It's not even certain. It's the people see freelance as like, oh, it's who knows if you're even gonna make money or if you're gonna have a job or whatever. But any job is like that. You could get fired anytime from any job. Like getting laid off there's no job that is like, we're losing money by having you on, but we're gonna keep you because we really care about you. There's no job in the world that would ever do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So the way I see it, why not? Why not just go for it?
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Because I feel like a lot of like with Latino families, and they're really strict on you getting a career, being successful at that career, and like just having a steady job for the rest of your life. So I remember when I told my mom and dad about me wanting to do YouTube and acting and do like just create content on like for people to like just laugh and enjoy and have a good time. They were a little iffy about it because they're like, is that really gonna support you for the rest of your life, or are you just gonna be like homeless and broke?
See, before I had kids, I would be like, that's so stupid, man. I should support you, dude. But and I'm not saying I'm not completely like, I think now that I've had kids, I think I'm like, I get it though. Because I'm like, I want my kids to be like supported and have a good like life or whatever. It's just that I don't think that going to school and studying a thing and like there's tons of people that don't make that much money but just absolutely love their life and their job and their family, and like that's what I want for my kids. And if that means that they're well supported with money and that they're, you know what I mean, that's I want to be well taken care of. But there's so much more to having a job and a career and a family and life and stuff. Like one of the reasons I didn't want to be a film composer is because I found out about the industry. If you have to live in Los Angeles, didn't want to do that. You have to work like crazy hours and deadlines are like super tight and you have to like basically not see your family for weeks. Not cool with that. You have to like, it's super competitive. So you have to kind of like you can't be nice. You have to like, and I'm the nicest. I can't be mean to people. So like, I found out more and more about this industry. I'm like, even if it's my dream, I don't want to do that. Like, it's not what I want to do. So that's what I mean about it being more about what the job is like than what it actually is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true, man.
No,
that's awesome.
Get you and all that.
Yeah.
Shit, we all dropped out of college.
Yeah, we all dropped out of college.
Yeah.
We're here. Hey, college dropout.
College dropout.
See, here's the thing. My reason is gonna sound really cool and like, oh, you're such a good person for doing that, but really, it's like I probably would have dropped out anyway. But my wife was having some health problems. And she was actually supporting me. She was like, I don't really want to go to school. I'm kind of done with it. Yeah. And so she's just like, I'll get a job, whatever, and I'll support us. And she was like having like major like anxiety and like other health issues and stuff. And so I was just like, well, we live at Snow College. So if I drop out, like we got to move or rather if I get a job, if I want to support us, then I need to get a job. If I need to get a job, then we need to move somewhere else because there's nowhere to work here. That was before COVID and everything was remote and stuff. But like, that's pretty much what happened. I dropped out for my wife's health. Did you guys drop out for something that good, or were you just sick of school?
Shit.
Well, I mean, now I kind of don't want to say it. But no,
mine was definitely sick of school too. It was just that I had a really good excuse to go on top of that.
Heck yeah. No, I really didn't have one, man. To be honest, like, I felt like I felt more depressed going to college because in a way, I'm not trying to put this on like ADHD or anything like that, but like with me.
No, I feel it, dude. If anyone feels it, I completely understand.
Yeah, because I mean, you know how it works. Your brain is constantly working. You can't focus on one thing, and I was having a hard time in college keeping up with homework, keeping up with work. I try to pay attention as much as I could, and nothing would stick. Nothing would stay in my brain. And every time I take a test, every time I do a test, or quizzes, I mean, I would always fail them. And it would always make me feel like, man, you know what? Like maybe I'm not good enough for college. Maybe like, why am I even here? Like, if I can't pass these classes, how am I going to live life? outside of college.
Yeah, because you start to translate that into like real life stuff. Like if I can't do this, how can I do a job interview? How can I do an assignment at work? How can I, stuff like that. So yeah, I feel you, man. I've definitely felt that way before, for sure. And it's, first of all, college is not like real life.
Oh,
yeah, it's not.
No,
so
not.
that's a really good, like, that's a good thing to call out. Like it's very different, and it makes you feel like, oh, this is what it's going to be like, but it's, it's not. But the other thing too is like, I mean, were you working toward like a specific career, or were you just kind of like, I'm in school to get a degree for now and then we'll see?
So I wanted to be so when I was in Mexico, I actually used to do nursing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's fun fact that I haven't even mentioned it on the podcast, I think. So that's something new. So when I got here, I was going to go into nursing, but then my transcripts did not transfer. They were like, oh, really? All those 2 years that you did out there, they're not worth anything out here. So it's like,
that's so weird that they wouldn't give you any credit. Like that's bizarre to me.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was crazy too, because I was like, really? I'm like, I could call up the school out there and you guys could talk, like maybe get something worked out. And they're like, no, we
least
can't.
Like partial. Like not, it doesn't have to be the whole thing necessarily. I mean, that'd be good, but like, geez, really nothing?
Nothing, man. And I was like, wow, really? And then after that, I changed careers to wanting to do zoology, because I mean, I love animals. One of my biggest dreams is, and I've talked about it on this podcast before too, is I want to open a zoo someday. That's one of my biggest dreams.
Open a zoo?
Yeah, I want to open a zoo, man.
That's freaking awesome. How do you even do that? Can you do that? Is that legal? Like, can you just like go buy animals and just be like, hey, here's animals?
We do live in Utah.
Yeah, boy, it is Utah, so we can't.
Wait, what does Utah have to do with it? Is
they're
Utah
really
special for that?
I think the only thing that you really can't own here in Utah is a tiger or a monkey, if I remember right.
Easy.
Yeah, they're not like
do that.
Like they're really not that picky with stuff here. Like I don't know if you ever.
I love that you guys know this. You've clearly researched this before. Like you're like, oh, let's make a list.
Because my goal would be, I want to be a farmer. I want to have a sanctuary where like, if like people can't take care of their horses or cows or goats, how they just give up on them. I'll take them in for free and just raise them myself. That's my goal by 35.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I got on this podcast, that is the last thing not that like from either of you. You're like, I want to open a zoo. I want to open a farm animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
How is that the most interesting thing we've talked about this whole time? You know what I'm saying?
Like I told you, man, we're weird people. So like I get that reaction too a lot of the time, especially when they hear the zoo thing. They're like, dude, I've never heard anybody say that. Like, I've never heard anybody have a goal like that.
I've heard tons of people say stuff like, I want to work at a zoo.
Yeah.
I want to, like, be around animals. But I've never heard anybody say, I want to open a zoo. That is crazy.
Yeah, dude. I just love animals so much. And, like, that's the whole reason, too, with college. I'm like, I wanted to do zoology because I wanted to learn as much as I could about animals. And, like I said, eventually open up my own zoo.
Yeah.
And then I changed careers.
It's not like that would be amazing. You're like, no, I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, it's a goal that's set in my brain. It's something that I'm gonna have someday.
Did you ever play Zoo Tycoon on the computer when you were a kid?
I don't think I have. I don't think I ever did.
It's literally like it's those like city one, like The Sims and stuff like that. It's like
okay.
But you make a zoo. Like it's literally like Zoo Builder. You should play it.
What?
That's some funny shit.
I just took up your weekend. It's an old game, but I remember playing it in like elementary school.
Well, if it has to do with building my future zoo, then
he's just like building your blueprints.
Right? Yeah, that's my blueprint.
I just gave you some weekend plans. You're not gonna see him for 3 days.
Hell yeah, that's my weekend right there.
Oh no, for sure.
But yeah, and then after that, I actually changed careers to. I wanted to do like focus on more of like media, like photography, video production, podcast, stuff like that. That didn't last very long because I mean I was getting pretty tired of college and also I wasn't.
Well, and a lot of that stuff too. That's stuff that isn't like you don't like need a certification or anything for it. Like you learn it. I mean, I dropped out as I was in my music tech class, music technology, and I'm literally like answering the teacher's question. I wasn't like amazing at music technology, but the teacher was like, "Hey Cody, how do you add a track again, or how do you do this here?" And I was like, "Dude, why am I paying money for this?"
Right?
Like,
Stuff like that. It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, and like it wasn't his fault. Like there was like multiple reasons that he's really good, but also like not like in the specific stuff we were learning. But still, I kept going like, if I have to answer his questions, then why am I not just doing this myself? So I just most of my stuff that I know from music technology and audio is just from myself. But
yeah, it's a lot of self-learning that you could do, especially now with like YouTube and all that. Like everything's out there. Anything for everything.
Any job that you don't need a certification for, I feel like you could learn online.
Easily.
Oh, yeah, like, easily.
Google just removed a couple of years ago their requirements to have a bachelor's degree to work for them. They don't require a degree at all anymore.
Oh, wow.
Because I think they know that. Like they're acknowledging like it's perfectly legitimate now to just like learn stuff yourself, because as long as you can demonstrate it, like they don't care where you learned it, you know.
Yeah. Hey, that's a win for us though, because we don't have degrees, so we're like, yeah.
I know. Now mine seems boring. Why I dropped out.
All right, what's your reasoning now then?
No, so mine was, I don't know if you know like how we have OWATC over here, like the Ogden Weaver Technical College.
No clue what that is. What is that?
It's like a technical college out here. So it's like how SLIC, the Solid Community College, is like out there.
Yeah.
So we have one here in Ogden, and I told myself, you know what? My mom wants me to go to school. I don't want to go, but I'll do it for my mom. So I started going to school.
The best reason to do anything.
Yeah.
That's never going to backfire.
So then like 3 years down the line, I'm basically done with my career. And I turn everything in. But a month before I finished everything, I go in to make sure everything was right. I was like, they're like, oh, what are my requirements to get my diploma? And she's like, oh, looks like everything should be good. You just need to finish your programming for automotive. And I'm like, cool. So I don't have to do math. I don't have to do computers. I don't have to do nothing. She's like, no, your high school degree cover that. And I'm like, cool. A month later, I come back. I'm like, here's my packet. I'm done. Can I get I don't want to do the graduation. I just want my diploma. She's like, oh, you have to do math and computer now. And I'm like, no, I don't. You just told me a month ago I don't have to. They're like, no, for circumstances. I don't know who told you that, but that is
the worst phrase you can hear in customer service.
And especially I was paying for my own schooling for 2 to 3 years. I was paying for my own schooling. So when I heard that, I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to pay you guys any more money.
See, when you told that story, I thought you were going to say something like, and you're not even enrolled as a student here. What do you mean?
Oh, dude, I would have been livid.
I've been paying money for 3 years and I'm not even a student.
But yeah, that's when I looked at I'm like, am I going to waste another year doing math and computer classes for something that I barely even do? I was like, nah. Then I was like, you know.
Well, so what were you gonna go for then? I mean, like now I'm curious because like you're talking about going into zoology. Like, what do you?
Oh, that was him
talking about. I know, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
for me,
talking about going to zoology. So what were you gonna do?
So I went in for automotive for cars, but while I was doing that, I worked from 8 to 5 at a mechanic shop. Then from 6 to 9, I would go to school at night, and I did that for 3 years.
Oh, jeez, that is a lot.
So overall, I was getting both experience because I was working at a shop already and going to school.
You were working at a shop already, but you were going to school to get a degree so you could do what? What's the point?
To get the certificate so I can become a mechanic. So I don't have to.
So you weren't a mechanic. Okay.
Yeah. So, but
Gotcha.
Then everything COVID happened and a bunch of other stuff. Next thing I just transferred over to working at a factory. But then I just started how he said, we started taking pictures together. We did little what's it called, jobs, side jobs here and there with photography, videos and all that. And that was good money for here and there. But then finally we're just all right, we gotta get down on this. I'm gonna start working on it hard. But yeah, it was weird because I was literally doing it. I was at a shop. I ran the shop and everything. Man.
You're like literally at a shop all day. You went to school the whole time that you were supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, no, I'm not doing any of that. It's crazy.
I dropped it like what? Because I asked for a raise and they're like, oh, we can give you 50 cents. And I was like,
50 cents.
I'm like, I'm doing so much for you guys. I'm going back and forth from Logan, doing detailing, you name it, anything in the
bro. That's 8 Frosties a day. That's not worth it.
Yeah. It's 8 Frosties a day. Yeah, it's not worth it. But yeah, next thing you know, I told him, I'm like, hey man, is your job hiring? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I quit and just went to work with him for a bit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like it's I try to I have like nieces and nephews that are starting to be like old enough to, I'm like really young in my family, so like I've got like older nieces and nephews, like they're kind of late teens, early 20s now, and so they every time they start to like graduate high school, I'm like, kid, listen, you're about to go like get a job and stuff. It's all BS. Don't listen. Like they don't care about you.
Oh no.
You have to do. Don't overwork yourself. Like,
oh, for sure.
It's just like I almost feel like I'm gonna have to do that even more with my kids. They're gonna be like 20 years from now, you know. But like it's the sad state of how things are now. It's just like I think and with the college thing too. Like I think college degrees are more expensive and they are worth less than they used to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. I'm glad we dropped out.
Yeah.
It was
better. College dropout.
I am way better off than if I didn't drop out, because I would have just been the same. I probably would have been the same place I am now, a couple years behind, with a music degree and a bunch of debt.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't be good.
No, I feel you on that one. Cool. So I know like we've been talking about our families and all that, and you went on a mission. So did going on a mission help you be more social? Like with people like doing like podcasting and all that, make it more comfortable?
Dude, no. I'm an introvert. I know I don't seem like it, because I feel like I make friends really easy and I'm like, you know, I'm a chill guy, but like I am a big time introvert, and I'm weird because I really enjoy like talking to people and being around new people and stuff, and it's great. But like, I feel like I need a nap after I do it. You know what I mean? Like I have to recharge almost.
Oh yeah, okay. I feel you on that. Yeah.
So I'm like it's the worst combination, because I'm like an introvert, but I need like to be around like my friends or like other people or whatever. But then like after I get home, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go.
You need some me time. Then you're like, all right, I can be a social butterfly. Yeah. No, I get you. I feel you on that point too.
Yeah, I feel like that's how me and him are too. But what's funny though is I think like we recharge together sometimes.
Yeah, I do have those people where I'm like, it doesn't deplete me at all to be like, my wife is like one of those people where it's like we can just hang out and it's totally recharging to be like that.
Yeah,
nice.
That's awesome, bro.
Well, and this is the other thing too. Like, you know, when you're on a mission, like your whole job is like to tell strangers things about Jesus, right? Can you imagine how much worse it is to be like talking to a stranger at a convention about podcasts?
Yeah.
Like they know that we're all talking about podcasts. They're there because they want to talk about their podcast. I'm just in Mexico. I'm walking up to strangers and going like, hey, like people are cringing as I'm walking up because they know like they can see how I'm dressed and they know what I'm doing. So like it's so much better. It's like I can't even compare it.
Okay.
It's like, like when you're in like somewhere where there's like salespeople, like at the mall when they're like trying to put like lotion on your hand or whatever. Like that is like how you feel. Like that's how I felt like people were looking at us all the time, like kind of crossing the street, like trying not to make eye contact so we don't like talk to them.
Oh no, don't
compared to that. Like I think maybe it did help because it was just like, oh, compared to that, anything is easy compared to that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Right. Although speaking Spanish has been really like, that's been a really awesome skill. I haven't actually edited any podcasts in Spanish. I'm actually working on that. I want to really bad. But I haven't like made any. I think it's just like, you know, look at my face. Like no one's going, hey, can you edit my Spanish podcast? You know what I'm saying?
You have to have like hablo español on the bottom.
Hablo español.
Although do you like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can be white if your last name's like Espinosa or something like that, and people will be like, "Oh, he speaks Spanish." But like, if you know what I mean, if I say my name's Cody Crabb and I speak fluent Spanish and I want to edit your podcast, it's like, yeah, right.
You're like, are you sure about that?
I appreciate the hustle, but like, no, I'm gonna find someone else. Yeah, no. So I haven't done that yet. They have like a lot of like Latino podcaster things in the events that I'm going to. I'm actually going to one in like just a week and a half or something. It's in Las Vegas called Podcast Movement.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, they're so cool, and it's really, if you're like a nerd about this kind of stuff, it's so much fun. You guys should come. It's in Vegas. So it's not even, it's pretty much as close as it could be without being in Utah. So
yeah,
that's true. Yeah, are we about to take
like
a little
tons
trip?
Tons of events and like speeches and stuff.
Yeah.
Like by podcasters, but also by like companies that like Descript had a booth there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So and if you're looking to kind of pick up some clients or something like that in this kind of area, or guests, it's a really good place if you have a podcast and you're looking for guests.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I
recommend it.
First weekend of March?
First week. It's like 3 days right in the middle of, it's called Podcast Movement Evolutions.
All right.
So Podcast Movement is like the event, and then they have Evolutions is like the spin-off. So they try to do one, like if they do one in the east side of the country, they'll try to do one in the west side of the country. Like first one I went to is in Nashville, and then they had one in Los Angeles. So like they try to kind of balance it out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. See, and that's cool because that's the whole reason I was trying to get like a kind of like group meetup for a YouTube group that we're in. And
man, the connections get you everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just talk to a friend of a friend, and they're like, "I know we're starting a podcast. Like, you know, a podcast guy, right?" And it's just, you know, you never know who you're gonna. That's one of the reasons I love doing these kinds of things, because like, not because I'm like looking for business, but just like, you never know. Like the bigger your network is, the better chance you have at like having opportunities and getting other people opportunities. Like if I find out something that would be beneficial to you guys, of course I'm going to mention you guys. So like, it's one of those, like, it's never a bad thing to make a connection, and like, you know, and especially like, you know, online presence, like having some stuff where people can Google me and not find like my MySpace page. They can actually find some relevant stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then like, and plus, I mean, I of course wanted to meet all of you guys in person too. You know, like all the people that are in the group, and like overall, I feel like it's very good to like just socialize with other people that are in like that common space, because I feel
or like-minded as well.
Yeah. Because I mean, you never know. You can make a really good friend out of somebody. Yeah. Start collabing, you know, start helping each other out in some way. And like for me and Gabe, we're very open people. We talk to everybody. We easily make friends, same as you. Like and I don't know, we love meeting new people. We love kind of talking to people and kind of getting to know people and stuff. So and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to start that little meetup, is because I'm like, you know, I just want to meet all these cool people, man.
Well, it used to be like that. There was this kind of time period where, and I know this because my in-laws were like in this group, where like there were lots of these really big YouTubers kind of around the 2009 to 2014 kind of area. And it was like all these really big, like multi-million channels, like that were all from here, and they were all friends. So like they would like go do videos together, and they would like do events and stuff like that. Yeah. And eventually I think some people kind of stopped doing as much YouTube. Some people got too busy to do collabs, and they'd kind of, you know, so it's kind of, now it's not as like tight knit as it used to be. But I've also tried to kind of do something similar, where I kind of try to do make videos with people with Dallin and like do stupid stuff, and you know.
Yeah, we're always down for
looking to
any fun adventure.
If anyone has an idea for a video with us, we're always like looking for someone to show us.
I do skits. We do skits on the channel too. So I mean, if you guys ever want people too,
that'd be cool.
You know, you got 2 more people right here too. So, but
yeah, if anyone listening wants to check it out, sqg.quest is our website that has like all of our links and stuff. So.
Heck yeah, man.
That's nice.
I use Linktree, so I'll have that down below, so you guys can check out all of the other stuff too.
I like Linktree. I have a lot of clients that use all the different ones too, so I'm always like looking. All my clients are always like using, because they're all content people, so I'm always like, oh, what's the best one? Like they're all using different stuff, so
yeah,
I get a little sneak peek. So
right,
cool. But yeah.
What's
I
up?
can, man. So 3 questions. What do you think was yours and Dallin's inspiration for wanting to do YouTube and all that together?
That's a good question. It's kind of funny actually, because so Dallin and I were friends since we were like 11 years old.
Okay.
We met doing like musicals.
Oh, okay.
Like when we were kids, we were like in like community theater together, and so we were like friends all through high school and stuff. And we're kind of like, kind of maintained friends or whatever. And then out of nowhere, one day he's just like, "Hey, I want to start. How do I start a YouTube channel?" Because I'd already started like helping these YouTubers out. I kind of knew more about the social media side and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, maybe we should do it together. Like this, and it gives me a chance to kind of do more stuff and try it out and stuff. And so I think, and so we were kind of like, okay, what do we even do? Like we came at this not having an idea. We were just like, well, what if we did something? And so I think what happened was we started to go, what if we kind of just tried some new things in a way that was like, I think the way we framed it was like, we're getting older. We feel like we haven't had as many experiences as we want to. And so like, what if we just kind of did like a combination of like the Try Guys and also like some stupid comedy stuff, because we're both, we both like to just be stupid.
Okay.
So it was like kind of born from that. And then there's also some video game adjacent kind of content on there too. We both like video games a lot. So I think it just kind of was born from that. And then side quest guys, the idea behind the name is like, we're doing all of like life's side quests. So like, when in a video game, when you're like, oh, I completed the game, but now I have to give someone's grandma some butter so they can bake a cake. Like, there's no real point in doing it other than just like, let's do it because we need to complete the game. So that's the idea. And that's I think the inspiration wise though, I would say like seeing really awesome people just do stuff made me like so jealous of them. Not any particular content creator or anything like that, but like just seeing people like just get these awesome opportunities because they were doing videos, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And you'd be surprised who has said yes to us. We're just like, yes. Every time we ask, someone's like, yep. Like we'll get free tickets to stuff. We get behind the scenes, everything. And I'm like, we just have a camera. Like we're not special, but it's been really fun.
Damn, man, that's awesome.
3.5 years later, I think, almost 4 now. So yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's awesome. That's awesome that you guys have been able to experience stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So, I mean, you mentioned that you and Dallin met when you guys were, 11. You said 11, right? 11th grade or 11?
Yeah, like 11 years old. No, 11 years old, like when we were kids.
So, how did you guys even become friends? Do you have a story behind that?
Not exactly. In fact, I kind of think if I remember correctly, I thought he was kind of annoying when but we were like in the same plays and like we kind of were just around each other, and then so like we just knew each other. And then when we got into school in high school, we went to the same high school, and so like I already knew him. And like we just kind of, and we both did stuff like choir and things like that, and so we were just always around each other.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, we just remained friends. I don't know why we remained friends. You know what? I'll tell you what it is. I actually know. I do know why we remained friends, which is we had this thing that we called Guys Night, which is the most unoriginal name. But the idea it's just the same group of friends, and we would meet like periodically. We tried to do it once a month, but you know how being an adult is. It doesn't really work, especially with kids. But we would, if this is probably, but I don't think we've done one since I've had kids. But basically, we would like meet once a month, and just like play video games and eat like an entire pizza by ourselves and just like pass out. And, like you know how you do when you're like teenagers. And stuff.
Yeah.
But after high school and after like we went on missions and stuff like that, and we got back and had jobs, and so we were actually still doing it quite a few years later. It was like I said, it's only recently that we kind of haven't had time, but those like dudes nights was kind of why we remained friends. In fact, some of them, I have like a couple other friends that I'm also really close with because of those too. So still, so 11 years later, 12 years later, 13. This is my 13th year. That's ridiculous. 13 years later.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, we've been friends since birth.
Since birth.
Yeah, cousins are different because you get like I have a cousin like similar age too, and we're like super close too and he moved to Australia on me. Thanks, Greg. If you're not Greg's not listening to this, but if he did, he would, he deserves it. Australia, yeah. Who does that?
Especially Australia, where spiders are bigger than their freaking cats.
Everything wants to kill you in Australia.
That's what I told him. He told me they were moving. I'm like, don't do it. They had a baby there, man.
Right? Oh wow!
Damn,
what are you doing?
Now you gotta put a cage around the baby just so everything doesn't try to kill the baby. Cause
it's not to keep the baby in. It's to keep everything else out.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
real.
Yeah, man. Everything out there just wants to kill you, man. It's like, hi.
You would know too.
Oh yeah.
You would know. You're the expert.
All right. Yeah. Zoology.
That's where you open a zoo.
Exactly.
Australia.
You guys want to see giant bird-eating spiders?
Yeah. Why is it that everything in Australia is weird too? It's like koalas. Like we don't have anything like that anywhere near here.
No,
it's
we don't.
all just in Australia. It's so weird. Anyway, that is not even close to what we were talking about.
Hey man, it's okay. We derail a lot on this podcast. Like, we don't ever. Honestly, I'm surprised we even were able to stay on track this time because normally we can't. But
We're doing good today.
yeah, we're doing good
I
today.
think the ADHD's canceling each other out. That's all.
Right? Exactly. Negative, make it positive. But yeah, man.
No,
Oh, you got any more questions that you want to ask? No?
I'm chill.
Are there any questions you have for us?
I'd be curious. What do you guys want to happen from this YouTube channel, man? Like, what are you guys hoping to do with it?
To be honest,
Like this is like ideal, like perfect world. Like, is it like getting a call from a production company and they're like, hey, we want to like have you in our network? Like, is that like, even if it's stupid, I want to know what it is.
my reasoning is not that extravagant, but it's just mostly like just so people can see what I've done in my life, because it's been a weird life for me, and it's just like I want someone to hear it and just hear it. I don't really have like a big
no I know what you mean.
just like it would be dope to do like a maybe like how you like. It's weird, I really don't talk about it that much, but I like music a lot, but it's one of those things where like I would love to be like a producer, but no one knew I was the producer. That's the thing with me.
Yeah, you don't want the celebrity. I've always said that like there's like a certain kind of like authors or things like that where you're well known, your name is well known, but maybe not like your face as much.
Yeah,
like, that's ideal.
Exactly. That's the same thing with like music, the same thing with podcasts. Like I just want people to hear me, and like maybe hearing my voice or the energy I throw out with my voice helps someone calm down or someone relax.
Or laugh or
That's just me though. That's
one of the most surreal things ever was when I had someone in actual real life say, hey, are you one of the side quest guys? And we are not, I will say we are not some huge channel. Like we are not massive at all. But like that was the most weird, and it turned out to be like a friend of a friend. So it was even less weird. But for a second I was like, what? That's just online. Like no, you can't, So, but I know what you mean. Like someone being like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. Like you made my day or something like that. Is like, there's nothing.
Yeah, that's definitely, and piggybacking on what he kind of said too, is like, same for me. I feel like out of this channel, like, I mean, if I could turn this into a full-time job someday, that would be awesome. That would be awesome because I love creating. I love making people laugh. I like making people have something that they can come to watch after maybe having a hard day at work. I just like to make people smile, and that's the whole reason. I think this is why we work so good together, is because our sole purpose and our sole goal is like we want to make people happy. We want to see people laugh. We want to, if somebody is like, hey man, like I was kind of down, but like I saw one of your guys' videos and it kind of made me feel a little bit better. I'm like, hey man, that's great. That's what I would love to hear. That's what I'd love to hear is just people saying, hey, like, this was a really good video. It made me feel good. It made me smile. It made me laugh, and that's...
Yeah. And even it's so weird to have like that, you know, you feel like, oh, like I'm really helping people when you're doing something really stupid. You know, like our videos were doing stuff like we tried pole dancing, like we went to a Renaissance fair, like we're talking like really stupid stuff. And people will say stuff like that to us, like, oh my gosh, like I binged your channel while my wife was in the hospital, and it really, you know, it's like maybe like that is like such a good feeling, but it just feels weird to be like, I'm making a difference by doing something like this, really? Like something so stupid?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, sounds good. All right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, we just love to make people laugh, and just that's the
end goal.
Yeah, that's the end goal. I mean,
yeah.
I've always been into acting. Like when I was in Mexico, I was in an acting group. And
skeleton ass.
Yeah, man, I looked like a skinny little lesbian when I first got here. I was like, I was 6'2", weighing like 150 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was really underweight back then. But
I also feel like that. I feel like in Mexico there's like less competition too. Like if you really wanted to do something like that, it'd be a lot easier to get off the ground there.
It is because not a lot of people out there have like the chance to even do this kind of stuff. Like not everybody has that opportunity, you know.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So I'll tell you a funny story. I was actually, when I was in Mexico, there was a guy who he told me, oh, I'm auditioning for this singing competition. And I don't remember what it was called, but I heard him sing. I'd heard him sing before. And like I'd heard other people talk about his singing before, and they said he was a really good singer. And one day he was like, I'm gonna sing in church. I'm like, oh cool, I'll actually get to hear what this guy sounds like. And he was so bad, like so bad. And I was like waiting for this to be so good, and I just was like, what? And so I was like, oh man, maybe he shouldn't try out, like he's gonna embarrass himself. And then he goes and auditions, and this guy makes it like multiple rounds in this show. And I'm like, what? and I'm like, how? And because I actually sing. That's like, I'm a singer. So I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this guy wouldn't have made it. He would be on the low light reel of American Idol. Like he would have been like the William Hung guys, like with them. Yeah. And I was like, this guy's okay. It was just wild. I just thought of that immediately, because I was like, it really must be a small pond if like people like this dude can make it like multiple rounds in a singing competition. Crazy to me.
And it is a small pond out there, because like not everybody can afford to have a camera. Not everybody, like, let alone internet. Not everybody out there has internet.
Reliable internet connection.
Yeah. It's crazy. And like when I was out there, like I saw a lot of that. There's a lot of like poor people. There's a lot of like poverty out there, and it's
it's different too. Like there's poverty here, but it's like not the same.
Oh,
like,
no.
When I tried to explain that to my wife, like the poverty that you get down there is like what you think of when you think of poverty is like not the same.
Yeah.
It's like third world poverty. It's bad.
Oh yeah, it is. And I had friends that like lived in like houses that weren't even finished. They're just you just had the walls, and then they'd have like a laminate top. That's it.
Yeah. Or you see like they build like parts of it that they just haven't even used yet. Or like, I know what you mean. I saw a lot of that. Yeah, it's really made me think a lot about my life a lot. That was probably the biggest lesson I got, was just kind of like, man, you have everything, man. You never have to complain ever again, because you are like you're looking. I'm looking around now, and I'm like, carpet. I didn't see carpet in 2 years, man. It's just something as simple as carpet is like a super luxury, and we really are lucky here. Things get bad, and there's always going to be issues with living in the U.S. and where we are and stuff. But there's things like that you have to be like loaded to live like we do here.
Oh yeah.
Whereas we're like you could be like lower middle class and like have a like safe place to live, carpet, like it's just no big deal, you know. And it's like just crazy.
Yeah, it is, man.
I know what you mean. It's different there.
Oh, but I remember now. I remember what I was talking about earlier before. But when you were saying about like when people come up to you, we were talking about the party.
Oh yeah, the party. That's
right.
Yeah. So
damn, we hella sidetracked.
I know, that was a hella sidetrack. But so yeah, when we were at this party, I don't know if you knew that guy that was talking to us about the channel.
Which one?
It was one of the bigger dudes. I don't know.
What party though?
It was the party at Caden's.
He's always getting invited to parties, so he can't remember a specific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My homie's house. Yeah.
So we were playing beer pong, and it was probably the least place that I would expect anybody to even like mention anything about the channel.
Yeah.
And as we're playing, you know, like we have a whole crowd around us because it's getting pretty intense.
That was a good party.
And all of a sudden, a few people come up to us. They're like, and they're just casually just say it out of nowhere. They're like, "Hey, so how's it going on the YouTube channel? We've been watching you guys' videos for a long time." And that just caught me off guard. I was like, "Wait, what?"
That is especially when you're not like massively big, like when you kind of are expecting it every once in a while. Like when that is the most disorienting feeling ever.
It is, man.
Crazy.
It is, and it really threw me back a little bit. I was like, "You guys actually watch our channel?" Because like.
I know. I'm like, I always just assumed we're getting watched by bots or something.
Yeah, I'm like I just thought it was our family and friends that watched it. You know, I'm like, I didn't think it was people that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's a cool feeling when you realize like people are actually like watching and like enjoying what you do and like waiting for more, and like it's so cool. Not even like celebrity status, just like having a handful of people that are like, can't wait for the next one, guys, like you guys are awesome, or asking questions or whatever in the comments. Like that is such a good feeling, and that's one of the reasons I do what I do, because I feel like you can create a connection that way that it's hard to do anywhere else. Especially online.
For real.
And I feel like it motivates you more to like even want to do it more,
because you feel like you're disappointing your fans. Like even if it's just a handful of people, you're like, I'm not gonna. If we weren't gonna upload this week, then what would they watch?
I know, right?
Netflix? It's like, no, I'm not making them do that, or they're gonna watch our stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, now they actually watch our stuff, and now we gotta do more, man. I'm like,
exactly, yeah. It's a good feeling.
It is, man. It is. I remember there was this other time too when we were. Do you remember when we were driving to Farmington with those kids in the Jeep next to us?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was me just tripping or something, but like we were driving down to Farmington, and we were at a red light before turning into Farmington Station, and we're next to this white Jeep, no doors, just nets.
Yeah.
And there was these kids like waving, and this is when I used to have my the YouTube channel on the back of my car. So I don't know if they read that and they recognized the name or something, but they started like, I could tell they were getting all giddy-ish, and like they're like, hey, like poking his sister, and they're like, look, it's these guys or whatever, and then they start waving, and I remember feeling all weirded out because I'm like, what are they doing? I was like, are they looking at us?
Is there someone else behind us?
I'm like,
well, that's the thing. Around. Yeah, you don't go, oh, they're recognizing us, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, are we in like, is it the cops? Like what?
I was like,
what's going on?
I was like, am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then all of them just like they poke at their older brother. He's like a teenager or something. And then they look over and they all start getting all excited, all giddy. They're like, oh, hi, this and that.
Yeah, and then we were like, we drove off.
Yeah, all I did was like one of these like, oh, hey guys. And I just got too nervous and I just started driving because I was like, I just didn't know what to do because I was like, I've never had that interaction before, and it was
well, and you know, and what you didn't know is he actually just thought you were Trevor Noah. So
right? Yeah. I probably you're imagining the whole thing, man.
He wakes up, oh, what happened?
Where am I?
No,
yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Were you there? You there?
Yeah, I was in the passenger seat.
And so you can confirm. Okay.
I'm just looking at them, and I'm just like, Are they just being friendly? Do they know us?
That's very friendly. No, that's the other thing. You're like, do I know you? Or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like with me,
people will be like, how's it going, guys? And I'm like, good. Do I?
Good. Yeah, because I'm more of a social butterfly than him. So like I can go anywhere, and someone would be like, oh, what's up? And I'm like, oh yeah, what's up? Yeah, I know you. And I just like. I meet too many people that I forget how many people I really know.
Between the ADHD and like, Yeah, it's just the names. No, I cannot.
I do faces. Like when he tells me, "Oh, do you remember so and so?" And I'm like, "Show me a face, please."
Yeah.
I can't with names.
Yeah.
But no. Do you have any more questions for us?
No, I think we about covered it.
All right.
Awesome.
Mind if I plug some stuff?
Go for it,
man. Go for it.
So yeah, if you want to learn some more about like Descript and editing and other stuff like that, I'm putting some stuff on YouTube. Haven't been super active lately, but getting back into it. It is youtube.com/@Cody Crabb edits, or you can go to codycrabb.com. There's gonna be links all over the place for that. And then SideQuest guys, you can check out our channel or get in touch with us, or we even have a place where you can submit a quest. If you want to make a video with us, if you're local, or if you have an idea for us to try something or do something, you can do that there, and we'll give you a shout out if we use your idea. So always looking for new ideas, because if it's weird enough, then we haven't even heard of it. So I look at it like we need people that say stuff, because otherwise, we're just gonna be doing the same old stuff. But yeah, sqg.quest for SideQuest guys, codycrabb.com for me, and then I'm Cody Crabb edits on YouTube. Can't miss it. My profile picture looks exactly like this.
You see the handsome man on the camera? That's exactly
what you looking for.
What are you looking for right there?
Right now?
What was that?
I said, you see that handsome man right there? That's exactly what you're looking for right there. Right there. That one right there.
Right there. That's
right
what you're
there.
looking for.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
don't worry.
Everyone is looking for.
We will have links down below for you guys to go ahead and hit those links. We'll have all his plugins there too. Same as always, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to Cody for coming out to the podcast.
Thank you guys. It's been fun.
Hopefully we can get you on another one. We'll have to do some more. Maybe we'll even do skits together eventually. Or
a Spanish one.
I like that.
Yeah, or even a Spanish podcast. That way you can get your Spanish out a little bit. Sí, sí sabe.
Sí
sabe. But thank you guys for watching. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Alex Easy Comedy. Follow F10 Gabe on Instagram. Follow me. We'll have Cody's all his plugins there too, so you guys can follow him on all his socials.
Yep.
And
do people say plugins? Am I like old because I don't know that people say that? I've never heard anybody say that. It's not cool enough.
Maybe that's just us.
Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe that is just us.
I could just be old. It could just be old and just kind of out of touch, whatever. Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You were doing so good on your outro.
No, it's all good, man. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe. Make sure you guys follow on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts for more
of our voices.
Yeah, more of our sexy voices. More of Cody's sexy voice. If you guys repeat, we'll have him more on here.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you guys, and don't forget to do us a rating, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Ciao.
So, peace out, guys. Love y'all.
Huevos.
Later.